Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paint Train. Continuing on with my video game environment series, here's my top 5 futuristic and spaceship stages and areas of video games. Hopefully this is apparent from the title, but this is my list of favorites. This is heavily influenced by my own subjectiveness and biases, but I will try to explain as thoroughly as I can why each area appeals to me. Also, I will be upfront with the fact that I am a Nintendo fanboy, and as such, most entries are going to be from those games. However, I am limiting it to one entry per series for each video, otherwise certain series would dominate these rankings. I'm going to touch on aesthetics, level design, and music. Without any further ado, let's go! At number 5 we have Hat Spaceship from A Hat in Time. Hub worlds have been cool to me ever since I first set foot in Peach's Castle in Mario 64. They're usually a nice safe break from the levels, and yet an interesting place to explore and play in. Girl Spaceship is whimsical, colorful, and extremely charming, right down to her enormous pillow fort. It's essentially a giant flying house, which seems to be run by a computer system. It uses timepieces as fuel, which starts the plot of the game when she accidentally loses all of them while hovering over the planet. Gaining them back unlocks new areas of the spaceship and stages within those areas. These include the kitchen, machine room, bedroom, engine room, attic, and even more rooms. Each of the rooms feel distinct and have their own silly charm and strangeness. As you play the game, some of the characters you meet will start appearing in the spaceship, very reminiscent of characters solely appearing on Rosalina's ship in Mario Galaxy. I think my favorite thing about Girl Spaceship is that it's so vibrant and colorful. Many of the areas in this biome are dominated by dull colors and grays of machinery, so it's really cool to see game creators go outside of the box with designs and palettes. In order to match the tone of the rest of the game, the hub world had to be large, unusual, and yet endearing, and this spaceship understood the assignment. Next at number 4 is Right Side Down Galaxy from Mario Galaxy 2. This strange planet has gravity fields marked with arrows and different colored backgrounds that either change based on Mario's location or levers that need to be whacked. This change will make the ceiling the floor and the floor the ceiling. It also alters some of the enemies, including swap hoppers, which have a spike on one side of their body but not on the other, so that when gravity is flipped, it might not be vulnerable. Other enemies include Goombas, Piranha Plants, and Thwomps. The music is light, snappy, and a bit disjointed, reminding me of old dive bar music. The level has a very cool and subtle music change when the gravity is flipped. It's not super different, but enough for you to notice that it's been flipped. This level is fun and keeps you on your toes with the gravity mechanic, which will definitely come back into play for this list. Though later on in the level, the Thwomps will test your skill, as I often would be crushed because I underestimated how much the change in gravity would affect my movement skills. Mario Galaxy and its sequel have quite a few futuristic and wacky type levels, but this one has always been the most memorable to me. Coming in at number 3 is Gravity Man stage from Mega Man 5. In a stunningly similar stage to the last entry, Gravity Man uses the same perspective switch gravity change, but in a longer, more intense stage. Located in an anti-gravity research center, it doesn't have low gravity like Starman's level, it just reverses at well-telegraphed areas that are easily identified by flashing arrows. The area is populated with enemies such as Graviton, Nobita, and Power Muscle. But the real danger of the stage comes from the many pits of insta-kill spikes. They are littered everywhere, and with the gravity change it can be real difficult to avoid touching while your senses are flipped. In particular, there's one set of spikes right before the end that's a blind fall that only gives you a few milliseconds to react. It's pretty cheap, but I've never died to it, so I'm willing to forgive it as more of a scare than a cheap level design. Gravity Man himself only has a Mega Buster like Mega Man, but makes up for it by constantly flipping the gravity so that you have to shoot him as you're passing him in midair, as otherwise he's on the ceiling while you're on the floor and vice versa. The music is up-tempo and supernatural. Mega Man music always works as a futuristic theme, but this stage in particular sounds like the beeping of a machine at times. This stage is very similar to Right Side Down Galaxy, except it's more challenging, longer, and has a boss at the end, so it takes a higher spot. In second place is Crazy Gadget from Sonic Adventure 2. Ever since the very first game, Sonic has a ton of futuristic spaceship levels. It was a close call between this stage and Death Egg Zone from Sonic & Knuckles, but I gave it to this stage because of the insane variation of mechanics and setting all within this one stage. Amy is being held hostage by Dr. Eggman, so Sonic has to battle his way back through the interior of the space colony Ark to save her. From standard mechanical rooms, acid-filled areas, reversible gravity, and the infamous color block room, this stage does a great job at combating its length by constantly keeping the area fresh. Enemies are standard for the Ark: gun beetles, gun hunters, and artificial chaos. Musically, this track features a heavy dose of electric guitar and definitely feels new age, at least for the time it came out. This is the third stage in a row on my list that heavily uses the flipping of gravity, so I guess it's just a mechanic that I really enjoy. But it gets very tricky in the last room, where it's not just up and down, but you flip the gravity from side to side as well as you scale what can only be described as giant colorful Tetris pieces to get to the end. I've noticed that a lot of people tend not to like this course for whatever reason due to either its length, difficulty, or occasional gravity jank. But this stage for me strikes an incredible balance between challenging, unorthodox, and fast-paced fun. Sonic has some legendary stages in the biome, but this one is the cream of the crop. And number 1 goes to Sanctuary Fortress from Metroid Prime 2. This area astounded me when I first found it. Futuristic, technology-filled fortress sitting up high over a large city. It had a completely different feel from the rest of the game. Even though I enjoy it, much of the game's settings are dull and dreary. And with the light world and dark world concept, the dark counterparts of those areas are no better when it comes to aesthetics and tone. But when you enter this area, the music does a fantastic job at setting the unique tone, with its foreground noise being sort of a robotic whistle representing technology, while the background of the music is slow, haunting, and methodical, as if to represent the strong fortress protecting the city. It seriously blows my mind every time I see it, as it's just so different from any area in any of the Prime games, which is a fairly strange thing considering all of these games' involvement with space and technology. The Ing have taken over the fortress, and all the mechanoids inside influenced by the Ing see Samus as an enemy to be terminated. These mechanoids include Quads, Resbits, Octopedes, and the mighty Quadraxes. Its Dark World counterpart is the Ing Hive itself, where the whole conflict revolves from. The boss battle versus Quadraxes, an enormous security drone, is the largest scale battle in the game, and once defeated rewards Samus with the Annihilator Beam. This area is so large and varied with tasks and rooms, I could spend an hour gushing on it, but I'll just say that this area revived my love of this game and established it as one of the most beautiful and unique environments in not just the Metroid series, but gaming as a whole. So what did you think of the list? Who did I leave off? Who shouldn't be on here? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like, subscribe, follow on various social media in the description below. Check out the other Environment Top 5 videos, and as always, have a blessed day.